Hi everyone, this is Mattjestic Gaming, and I'm here today to bring you a special guide on the new units we'll be seeing in this game. So as some of you have known, we just had a recent update today on the 26th of February. That with this update, I'm making a special guide for you guys to be discussing on the new units. For those who are following me on Twitch, for those that watched me stream on Twitch today, we made many test runs on those new units. We had many success and a few failures, so I'll be sharing some of those with you guys, and I'll be posting some of those videos which are very fun to watch. So we'll be getting into it, so don't worry about this. This is just the background. We just play casually and we're versing bots as random players. And just a quick summary for those that didn't know, you can host a single room, and when you host a single room, you can test a lot of builds, a lot of things. It's just you in the room, you don't lose MMR and you don't gain MMR. And you'll be versing bots of the cloud, of people who save the data on the cloud. So let's get into the game. So what are the units that are new? There are 3 new units. There's Riki, there's Mirana, there's Death Prophet. What are the units that are changed? There are 2 change units. There's Slark, there's Alchemist. For those that have been using my rate table, I have adjusted the number of units. So I have increased the number of units at 2 cost. I have increased the number of units at 3 cost. I increased the number of units at 5 cost to record the rate adjustment for the new units. So the rate table is now adjusted. The link is new, so make sure you go there and have a look. The new link, and make sure you have the most updated rate table as well. Now I'm going to be placing this at randomly, and we'll just not really paying too much mind to this, rather looking at the tables over here. Because we can't pause the game, so each time the race start, the round start, will be jumping into the round, but that's fine. The first unit we're going to look at is Slark. Slark, if we get to see Slark in this game, I'll definitely buy him, because I want to show Slark's abilities, and we can read down the ability. Slark reduced from a 3-star unit to a 2-star unit. Slark now has 0 armor. Slark starts with 500 HP, and Slark base damage is about 50-ish. Now what is nice about Slark is pounce. We can see over here. Level 1, 200 damage physical, 10-second CD, and 3-second disarm. So what does that mean? That means all of a sudden now, Slark is a physical burst that we can really rely upon. And what does that mean for us is that Slark is a cheaper assassin that has physical burst but no armor. Slark at level 2 has 5-second disarm and 8-second CD. That means if Slark is versing a single unit, Slark almost disarm permanently, only 3-second window for the unit to attack. This sounds really good to me on paper, and after a few test runs, we had a really nice game where we had a 2-star Slark at level 4. But despite that, Slark really falls off after round 20. This is because Slark is a weaker assassin now. Slark is a 2-star, its HP and attack damage reflects that, its mana gain reflects that, it doesn't gain mana as fast. So, what does this mean for us though? This means for us that having Slark on the board really gains us the 6 or 3 assassin synergy early game, that whoever wants to run 3 assassins or 6 assassins can really apply Slark to 2-star really quickly and make good use of Slark. But after round 20, Slark is no longer the key or core unit that he used to be. So he really falls off after round 20 because he has no armor. He's item dependent, so he casts his spells. His spells is not that effective because it's single target, and his damage and everything just doesn't add up after round 20. Now, let's look at the second unit. We're going to go down the line, so we're going to slowly go up and over there. Second unit is Riki, another assassin. So right now we're hitting up to 9 assassins, I think. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Very interesting. I think I'll be running a 9 assassin build once, and just to show us how well they round. Nothing special here. Just gonna buy one and remove one. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the very basic for the round, so we just keep surviving so we can talk about things. Riki is another new assassin. It is a satire. So sorry for the bad pronunciation. As the new assassin, what Riki does is hides your board from all the player to see. Once Riki is here, all the units will be invisible. There's a downside to it. For me particularly, is that the unit become very blurred and they're not colored. It was very hard to recognize my units. It's not that hard if it takes time, but because we only have 30 seconds each round to prepare, sometimes it's hard for me to select the unit I want to sell and the unit I want to buy. So it does take a bit of getting used to, but I think Riki is a very nice unit for a few particular reasons. Firstly, it is a 3-star, so its health and its armor reflects that. But I think on the negative side that is that although Riki is a 3-star, I don't think Riki actually enjoys the armor. I think Riki also has 0 armor, so I need to confirm, I need to check on that. But what I want to say is Riki have 2 reasons why it's so good. The first reason is in the late game, especially in high rank late game, people tend to love to deny the units you are waiting for. And in this case, if you can hide your board from other people, your savings space, your 8 units, your 7 units from other people, if you can hide what you're planning to get, that's really good. If you can do that, what's going to happen is people don't know what to deny. If I am looking for 1 more deuce, I have 2 deuces on the field, and having Riki to hide my units is a really big advantage. Now the second thing is, being an assassin, Riki has a really interesting skill. Riki has a smoke cloud that could cover up to about 16 grids on the field. Let me show you how much 16 is. So 16 is about 1/4 of the field. If Riki was here and he casts a smoke cloud, he can cover up to 16 or 25 if on the corner of the field. What does that mean for us? It means for us that Riki, It means for us that Riki as assassin, he doesn't have the burst, but if you picture this, if 5 or 6 assassin jumps in and Riki casts a smoke cloud right behind enemy lines, all of a sudden most of the enemy lines will be experiencing a duration of 4 seconds. Usually we're around 2-star Riki, so 4 seconds with 40% miss rate. So all of a sudden the backline units are missing, and it's as if we're turning our units into elves with 2 stack of elf buff. So we all know how strong 6 elf is. Just imagine Riki is turning our units into elves for 4 seconds to the units at the back. And the units at the back are going to be units our assassins are focusing on. So Riki will be a very nice run. And we have run Riki a few games, and I think I have one I can show you guys. Although it's not a highlight for Riki, but it's still a very nice game. So, seeing how nice Riki is, it really takes a few games to get him used to when he's on your storage. Because what I find is, this is the downside for Riki. Although he denies your opponent the chance to see your units, he also really makes it really hard for you to make split decisions when you have difficulty spotting which unit is what. So what I tend to do, this is a little hint, is you take Riki out of your storage onto the field, do all your arrangements and purchase, and before the round ends you can take Riki back or sell him. So if you're out of time, you can sell him. If you still have time, you can take him back and hide all your storage again. Keep in mind, even when your units are placed at this 5-second preparation, so when the round goes yellow, there's 5-second preparation. During those 5 seconds, you can't take units, you can't place units, but you can still sell units. So that's a little tip on the side. Now, I'm just gonna place a few random units, so make sure we survive long enough, and see how we go for this one. So now what we're gonna go to is the next very interesting unit. I'm so excited to be introducing her, and this is because one of my games I really had a great time playing with Mirana. We had 2-star Miranas, and she's just so incredible. So 2 things why she's so incredible. One is that she's a hunter. 2 things, she's an elf. And even a 3 thing is this ability over here. As a 3-cost hunter, she really fits well with Windrunner. Being both elf and hunter together, we just need 1 more hunter. So now all of a sudden we have an extra elf that is going to do damage. That is not Park, that is not probably something that's really not a good elf you want, but she can take the place of Park when you don't need the 3 dragon synergy. What I feel that is really strong with, let's quickly do this. What I feel really strong with Mirana is first thing is that she adds up to the 6 elf lineup, so it's much easier to get the 6 elves, which is dominating the current meta because its speed, its ability to summon units, and its ability to just ramp up from round 15 to round 25 and really dominate the meta game during those periods. So elves is the powerhouse right now, and this new unit just made elf even stronger. The second thing is she's a hunter. Being a hunter with Windrunner means she and Windrunner only need one more hunter. And guess what that hunter can be? That hunter can be in the form of Jaw Ranger with one dead. That hunter can be in the form of a Beastmaster, which I love Beastmaster. That hunter can be in the form of a Deucer or a Tide Hunter. So that just opens up so much late game potential for the elf player. So now not only the elf players are going to have a good mid game, they're going to have a good late game as well. So that's going to be very scary. And knowing this, what I feel is this is another unit I really want to have a look very soon, which is the Alchemist. And now we're going to touch on her skill. First, when I tried Mirana, I was a little surprised that she's missing all her arrows. I was getting a little frustrated. I was like, what is this unit doing? She's supposed to land her arrow, and why does it say that, you know, it has 1 second to 5 seconds stun duration, and you know, at level 1 and like 7.5 or 2 seconds to 10 second duration, and the range wise is 600. It turns out to me this unit, as we read carefully, it's currently under attack or defensive from friendly chests. So this is the line over here on the third line. So let me explain what that means. That means if I have a Princess of the Moon, Mirana here, if I'm fighting with someone over here, what she's gonna do is on my defensive board, my Mirana is gonna shoot an arrow, and when she shoots an arrow, oh, let's get this Beastmaster. We can't refuse. just something we just can't say no to. And we have the Hunter synergy, hooray! So what that means is, if I'm fighting for someone over here, so on my field, and my units are actually offensively fighting someone over here, Mirana is going to shoot an arrow backwards at the enemy that's fighting my offensive team, at the random enemy, while at the target the Mirana over here is targeting, while the Mirana over here is going to shoot an arrow forward at my field and my defensive team. So it's like arrow support, except there's a delay. When you're just fighting a single enemy, she's just going to shoot at them. Over here, as you can see, she shot at X, but that's a minimum stun. But what's happening if you're fighting someone over here is you're going to see arrow fly forward and backward. And I have a very nice video with many timestamps to show you guys how many arrows that flew in that game, because we have two 2-star Miranas. That was a really fun game to be watching. What happens is, with 6 elves and with Miranas, you just see arrows fly across the stream for me, and all of those arrows are shot by my offensive team for my defensive team, and my defensive team for my offensive team. It's like arrow support for us. And that was so interesting, so fun to watch. So half of the time they get stunned, half of the time I stun them for my team. So Mirana is such an interesting unit. I'm really excited, I really want to use some more as well. And now we're going to touch on a unit which really disappointed me. And I have seen it has great potential, but it just feels like so much different for the previous unit. Alchemist is unchanged in terms of cost. It is still a goblin, still a warlock. The only thing that changed is chemical rage from acid spray to chemical rage. So Alchemist with his attack speed, let me show you his attack speed. Nothing special. So Alchemists currently have, I'm not actually losing a lot, which is very strange. Elf's so good. So Alchemists currently have 1.3 attack speed. With this new ability, he's looking at 0.7. So we almost doubled his attack speed, and we gave him 40 regeneration. That compared to an acid spray AoE of 150 physical damage over 10 seconds and reduce physical armor by 22%. I think I'd take that acid spray any day. On top of that, Alchemist just lost 5 armor. I remember Alchemist being on 5 armor, am I wrong? But there's so many things that I'm missing on Alchemist that feels it's not the same unit anymore. It used to be my unit to amplify physical damage, it used to be my unit that melts the enemy. Now it's my unit that casts chemical rage and just dies, and that is really detrimental to the goblin builds in the mid game. and I'll be showing you guys a few Goblin videos after. But personally speaking, I feel that Goblin just received a massive nerf in terms of Alchemist change. But saying that, I have met a team lineup where the Alchemist with the Goblin buff just does not die, because at level 2 Alchemists have 60 regen and have some decent attack speed, and what that does is it actually became a powerhouse of just unstoppable force. I can't kill the Alchemist anymore. He has about 100 regen and there's nothing I can do about him. So there's the upside to it, but it's so slim. It's like when I'm running goblins with 6 goblins already, I don't really need additional tank. I need more damage. That's what I feel. So please let me know in the comments how you guys feel about Alchemist. Lastly, we're going to go to the new legendary unit. There's so much hype about this hero and so much anticipation for this hero. There's so much synergy with this hero as well. Firstly, Death Prophet is undead. We have 5 undead now. Having 5 undead means we don't need Abaddon, we don't need Joringer, and it's so much easier for us to combine 2 undead or 4 undead. Being a Warlock, so let's just chuck units around. Being a Warlock, the undead Warlock, if we have a Death Prophet and if we have a Necro, which is also undead, we have established 2 Warlocks already. We just need 1 more Warlock, say Enigma or say Shadowfang. All of a sudden we have 20% lifesteal for everyone. So this just made Warlock so much easier to find and so much easier to get 3 Warlocks on the team, because not only do you get lifesteal, you also get 5 armor reduction just by having Necro and Death Prophet. Now what I'm really going to touch on is Exorcism. I really want to see if we can find a Death Prophet, and one of the reasons I'm leveling up so fast is so we can find a Death Prophet. What I want to show you guys is that Death Prophet have about 950 HP, and which is not bad, I have to say, but it's not great. When you have that much HP, you really want to be on the lookout for her armor, because 2 reasons. Death Prophet spell is a spell that's gonna last a while. So when I say a while, it's gonna at least last 10 seconds before the spirit goes back to her. So she's gonna be dealing damage across the 10-second time. So if she dies during her exorcism, she's actually not dealing enough damage because she died before she can get her full spell off. Now the second thing is she needs mana to recharge so she can cast her spell. At level 1, Death Prophet have 0 armor. Even at level 2, she doesn't have any armor. So being out 0 armor and only 900 health and a relatively bad attack speed and relatively bad attack damage, that means she's gonna need a lot of items to be charging up her spells. Now this is very different to another unit, say Lich or Gyro or even Techies. This is because those other legendaries over here, all of those legendaries, all they need to do is get their spells off. They don't need to survive, they don't need anything else. Death Prophet, on the other hand, needs to survive after getting her spells off. If I was running a Lich, I see a Channel Forest, I don't care about this Lich anymore. But for this Death Prophet, she needs to survive at least 5 or 6 more seconds for her exorcism to really pay off here. Now you might think I'm giving a lot of negative insights on the Death Prophet, but actually quite the opposite. With a few items and with a good positioning, we can run Death Prophet and that can deal so much damage to the enemy team. The reason being is each spirit does 100 physical damage. Notice it's physical, and the Death Prophet is undead. So having the undead synergy and having the spirits means we're actually packing about 1000 damage to a single target at any rate of time. So if a Death Prophet survives for 5 seconds, if each spirit is attacking, we're actually dealing 5000 damage for that 5 seconds. And on top of that, she has the ability to be regenerating her health after the spirit comes back to her. What that means is, depending on the damage the spirits deal, she'll heal for 25% of that. And usually she'll heal to full when the spirit comes back, because the spirit would have done over 5000 damage and she would have been healing for about 1 or 2000. So being the undead synergy, 2 undead will enable her to deal more damage with exorcism. What I feel comfortable with Death Prophet is having her on the second row, so that's this row, on the third row, and giving her a few survival items like a plate mail, like a chainmail, even a stock shield, or a vitality booster, anything that helps her survival, a void stone, because she is gonna deal a lot of damage first, very steadily, that is. And on top of that, being the undead warlock and enable your team to have lifesteal, she enjoys minimum lifesteal. So let me describe this. I think my level 1 Death Prophet was lifestealing for 4 health each time she attacked. So the warlock lifesteal is neglectable, it's very minimal, but what it brings to the table is the ability to run Death Prophet with Lich at the same time. All of a sudden you have a great magical burst that slows attack speed, and you have a great exorcism that deals physical damage, and you already reduce enemies' physical defense by 22%. 5 armor is 22% usually for a unit that doesn't have any armor. So for a unit that has 5 armor, if you reduce the armor by 5, they lose 22% physical defense. So that's why I keep saying 22%. So let me do a summary of a conclusion overall for the units. What I feel is Slark is very nice for the early game, and he might even take us to the late game if we can get him to 3-star. On the other side, what I feel is, let me see our units. I really want to see a Death Prophet, so hence the rolling. So this is probably not my best choices, and probably not my best decision making, so let's leave it to. So let me do a conclusion. Slark is going to be an early game assassin. There's nothing to say about Slark after round 20 because it's a single target, and no longer is Slark a powerhouse in the late game. Riki has versatility in terms of hiding your units, so everyone might want a Riki for the late game, and the smoke cloud can really carry assassins or 6 or 3 assassins into the late game. So I think Riki is definitely a mid game to late game hero. Princess of the Moon, on the other hand, is going to be an early mid game hero because he enables the elf regeneration. By enabling the elf regeneration, not the regeneration, the elf evasion. By enabling the elf evasion and being a hunter, she can carry into the late game. And because her ability is so nice on the offense and on the defense, it really synergizes well with hunters when you can get your spells off, and it really synergizes well with elves when you just survive for long enough for the arrows to be flying. Because once the first arrow flies, you just keep watching those arrows fly. I remember in one round, my friend Mark on Twitch was saying there was about 5 or 6 arrows that flew across the screen. That was very epic to watch. Alchemist is the sad boy with this patch. I feel like Alchemist really got a nerf, and Alchemist is really not in a good place right now for us goblins. And lastly, Death Prophet is a very interesting unit. I feel it's a very strong unit used properly, and I have had a few rounds where I misplaced the Death Prophet. She casts a spell, the next second she's dead. So please keep an eye on that. I think knowing that the Death Prophet have her limitations will really help us position her properly. And lastly, what I'm going to touch on as a bonus for you guys out there who stayed for all the guide is Razor. Razor has had a slight buff. We might say the Razor's range was reduced, but with some nice calculation from a Chinese forum that a friend of mine sent it to me, the calculation actually shows that because of the radius reduction and while the damage and the damage amplification stayed the same, Razor actually got a buff. But seeing how that, I think there might be a change to Razor's damage. So if the forum is saying, assuming that Razor's damage is unchanged, while the radius is reduced, Razor actually got a damage buff instead of a nerf. So that's something on the side. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think about Razor and Alchemist. I think every other unit is very interesting to watch. I'm gonna have lots of the undead hunters meta, lots of the elf meta, and lots of the assassin meta from, I think, after this patch. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the new patch as much as it did. There's a few bugs here and there, but it's still a very fun patch to be playing. Let me see if I can find a Death Prophet. No, I clicked too fast. So thank you guys for tuning in for this new patch update. I'll be bringing you guys different type of updates and guides daily, so please stay tuned. Please subscribe and like. And thank you guys for all the help and support I've been receiving on Twitch and YouTube. And I'll see you guys next time.